Roscoe.
Get that.
Yeah, welcome to Blunders of Balding, where we have some strong takes and weak follicles. As always, please, if you like what you hear, subscribe to us on Instagram, Spotify. It's a lot cheaper than therapy for us, and you're not forcing us to evolve in any way. It's much better. Today, obviously, we're together. Yes, in person. We're here in Las Vegas. We actually came to the porn convention. We got an invite. I guess they thought ballers meant something other than what it really means. So we came by mistake. It's been a rough week, to say the least. Now when I shower and I look down, I don't feel as good. No, seriously, that is a joke. I still feel good. No, the whole thing was a joke. We're in Vegas, and so it's great to be together. We're going to do a special Vegas episode. We wanted to be on the roof. We wanted to have a nice view. And the problem is it's hot here, and we both started sweating, and we said, after this, we're going back to the suite. So here we are. And how you doing, Roscoe?
I'm doing fantastic, Paul. I haven't been to Vegas in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
And I've been here before that many, many times on bachelor parties. But every time I've been there, I'd always spent most of my time at the Spearmint Rhino Gentleman's Club.
Bachelor party.
Yeah. And I actually did not know that Vegas had so much to offer. Like, I didn't know there was food here. There was drink. Believe? I mean, there's so much to do in Vegas. I mean, later we're gonna go back to the Spearmint Rhino just to see how it looks these days. But I'm telling you, I just never realized how much there is to do.
Yeah, there's a theory outside of it. You just thought it was one giant strip club with bachelors and bachelorettes.
The other thing is, I now also realized that you have to have cash other than $1 bills. So it actually made it a little bit more complicated.
The fact that you're saying $1 bills shows that it's been a long time
since I'm here. So true. Of course, I'm kidding. It's great to be here. Great to be here with you in this palatial room.
Yeah, we'll show you some pictures of where we thought of shooting this. But we sweat too much, and it wasn't fun. It would have been disgusting for everybody. Kind of like what we're seeing at the porn convention. Again, I'm joking. We're not going to a porn convention. Not even this weekend. That is a joke. Okay. But if someone wants to invite us. Anyways, so we have a special Vegas episode.
Vegas, baby.
It's going to be tremendous. But let's start with the douchebag of the week.
Do I get douchebag first?
You go first.
Okay, so my douchebag this week, I have to say, this one is with a little bit of emotion. And it is LeBron James. As you've said before, I don't think LeBron James is a douche. Generally, people do. I do not. He seems like a good guy to me. He's never been in trouble. He has good social consciousness. He started charter school in Akron. And
right now, the way you're going into this, you're lining up to be the douche.
No, I'm just saying. He has social awareness. He takes good social stances. So I can't say he's generally a douchebag. I just think he does douchey things. For example, last week LeBron brought up the fact that he can't understand why Jaylen Brown isn't being talked about more as an MVP candidate. And so you think they're, okay, well, Ross, why would you think he's a douche? That seems like a good thing. You're a Boston fan, et cetera. Well, because one of the things we all know about LeBron is he likes to make it about himself. Now, I understand that. Yes, sir. I understand that maybe people could say that about me, but he really makes me look like Gandhi as far as he making it about himself. So I get it. So he gives Jaylen this compliment, but in the context of that answer, he also makes it about himself. Number one, he said, I don't understand why he's not getting more publicity about being the MVP. And in fact, I've always had my issues with how the MVP is done. It seems like a popularity contest. And I just don't, I've always had my problems with that. Okay, translation. I should have won it more as LeBron James. And by the way, you have been the face of the league, but okay, number one. Number two, how does he make it a douchey response? He's then asked, well, how's your relationship with Jaylen? And LeBron says, well, it's always been respectful. Other than the time when he said that shit about Bronny. What was that shit about Bronny? As you may recall, a number of years ago, Jaylen was at a Summer League game watching Bronny play, and he actually quietly said to a couple of people he was with, two WNBA players, I don't think Bronny's a pro. And it was caught on tape. So he wasn't even he was just saying that quietly. that got publicized. And that's the thing that LeBron was offended by. Okay, that is a true statement. He really isn't a pro, and he certainly wasn't a couple of years ago. Moreover, it's how can you like be upset? I know it's his son, but LeBron kind of got him on the team and set him up for failure, but
Put him in a tough situation.
yeah. So LeBron, he's being paid. LeBron is being paid millions of dollars because he did get a contract. He's a pro now. He takes criticism like everybody else, and this was something that was caught on tape. I mean, this is literally like my wife saying to me, "I don't really think you're that sexy." I mean, I kind of have to accept she's probably right about that. I mean, when you open up this package, it's not that pretty.
Yeah.
It doesn't ain't that great. So I have to accept that. And it's just, he's such a douche. He has to say those things and he has to do that. And it just drives me crazy because I think his legacy would be so much better if he didn't always make it about himself, his family, and all of that.
He just put Braun in a tough
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
It wasn't really like giving his son a chance. It was more like a social experiment.
Exactly.
Throw him in the NBA,
And you would be upset if someone, again, it wasn't even like Jalen was giving an interview about that. He just was caught on tape saying something that is just a fact. So that's my douchebag of the week. Sorry, LeBron. I want to like you, but it always ends up being about you.
I see it. It's not a bad douchebag. I'm a little more passionate about my douchebag this week. I don't know the person, but I think he actually might be a douchebag. And that is a reporter for the New York Times, a sports reporter named Jerry Brewer. And he wrote an article this week criticizing the U.S. Olympic men's hockey team for going to Washington. And he said that they won the game, but they lost the moment. And his premise was that even if they weren't trying to be political, just by going, they implicitly were showing support for a political environment or leadership. And that this shifted the narrative from a unifying national sports triumph to a politically divisive cultural event. And I have to say, I can understand how someone would feel that way if they are a douche. I absolutely hate journalists who try to make everything about politics because that's how they see the world. The article went on to suggest the team fractured the unity which they created. I'm like, yeah, Jerry. It's not Congress or the president or social media or even ideologues like you that fracture unity. It's a bunch of 20-something hockey players because they won the first gold in 46 years and they're not willing to immediately take political sides. Their presence was not political. People like you who made it political. They went to shake some hands, to take some pictures, to see some famous buildings, maybe to get some snacks. And the real issue for me is that sports should never be political. The whole point of sports is it should be fun and it should give us a break from politics. Why you gotta ruin it, Jerry? You big douche. The biggest political opinion a lot of these guys have is that maybe the shootout is ruining the NHL or that pineapples don't belong on pizza. They're not policy wonks. They didn't ruin the moment. They lived in the moment. They won the Olympics, partied their asses off. They celebrated. I don't know if you saw their press conference after they won. They were all drinking domestic. They're drinking domestic. And the only person I think who lost the moment is the guy sitting at his laptop in his boxers, turning a gold medal into a group therapy session. So congratulations, Jerry Brewer. You are officially my douchebag of the week. So, and I'm not done. I got prizes for Jerry. He gets a lifetime supply of overthinking. He gets a weighted hoodie to make him feel better. And he gets a free signed copy of a book called How to Make Everything About Yourself.
May I have that? Could you have that?
Yeah. What a douche, man.
That is such a douchey thing. Now, I'm just sort of curious, was his point because the women weren't there or because he doesn't like the current administration?
He doesn't like the current. He just said that by they're not political, but by going, they're making a statement. Well, by that logic, no one should ever go to the White House. Because anytime you do you wonder how often you get to go to the White House. If someone invited me to the White House, I would go, So they clearly were not being political. It's just that he's political, so he can't get by it. And it's just so douchey.
It's such a douche.
Just let him be. Just let it be about sports.
Can I change mine to him?
Yeah,
He's a douche.
she's a LeBron's a douche minus. A douche, yeah, douche.
That is very douchey. Good job. Good job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So we're going to have a little fun. We're here in Vegas.
Vegas!
And Vegas is obviously famous for epic failures. A lot of people screw up, and a lot of athletes. It's really a dangerous place for athletes to come and visit historically. So I put it to Ross. I don't know whose his is. I hope we don't have the same one.
We definitely, I can't imagine. There's so many choices. For that.
We're each going to pick the athlete who had the most epic meltdown, fuck up, career ending situation in Vegas. In mine, I'm going a little far back. I don't know if you remember him, Pac-Man Jones. Do you remember Pac-Man Jones?
I think you forget Pac-Man.
Pac-Man was a all-pro cornerback, height of his career, and he basically detonated his career at a strip club in Vegas. And here's the thing that kills me. This was back in 2007. And everyone didn't have a camera phone filming everything he did. TMZ wasn't waiting outside the bathroom. I mean, you could get away with stuff. Pretty much all you had to do was don't shoot someone. Or don't shoot someone. Don't be involved in a shooting. That was pretty much the baseline. And of course, he failed at that. He was at a strip club and he was making it rain like he was the Federal Reserve of lap dances. The guy's going crazy. And there's an altercation and he gets into it with someone. The next thing you know, shots are fired and someone is paralyzed. And that was not just a bad decision. That was a franchise-altering disaster. It really was a moment that the NFL said, yeah, I don't think we're going to put up with this anymore. Because after that, it was like Goodell had caught one kid vaping and made the entire school sit for a 2-hour assembly. I mean, all of a sudden, suspensions were longer, conduct policies got tougher, guys were hiring consultants and babysitters for big stars. Pac-Man didn't just hurt his career, he ruined the offseason for an entire generation of athletes. And the worst part is he was really good. He was a great player. And instead of Super Bowls, he was known for being covered in glitter and vanilla body oil at a strip club and involved in a shooting. And it was a massive fail. And I think when people hear Pac-Man now, they don't even remember what it was, but like, didn't he get in trouble? Didn't he?
Totally.
It was like an epic fail. 2007. That's mine.
Did you know that Pac-Man was actually at the club that, the club name was?
But
Minx with 2 X's. It's fantastic.
But this is 2007. You might have been there for a bachelor party. You're lucky he didn't shoot you.
Can you imagine?
If
I'm shot by Pac-Man.
that'd be awesome.
It would be so good.
I'd settle out of court and retire.
He's just such an idiot. And it's just like you get the feeling with a guy like that, they just can't be like good people. And I feel a good person. It's kind of sad. Now, my guy, I think, is different than that because I actually think my guy sounds like he probably is a good person, but he just had monumental screw ups, including one that happened in good old Las Vegas. And I am talking about Lamar Odom. And he still lives in LA, formerly of LA. So Lamar, just for people who don't know him, in case I don't want to age ourselves, but he's a 2-time NBA champion. He played with the Lakers, played with other teams too, but he spent 7 seasons with the Lakers. And those were his best years. And he actually married Khloe Kardashian, and he was married to her from 2009, and then they separated, didn't get divorced till 2016, but he was with her from like 2009 to like 2012. Why are those years important? Because those are the years before Khloe went under the knife for reconstructive surgery. That, in other words, she was the one Kardashian who was not good looking. Okay. And she was also very heavy. She has since transformed herself into yet another hot Kardashian. So they were married. They ended up getting separated, and Lamar fell into sort of a bad way, and he was doing a lot of drugs. And he actually was out in Vegas in 2015. And in October 2015, he was at a brothel called the Love Ranch. And he was with 2 patrons there. No, not patrons. 2 workers.
Employees,
thank you.
Professionals,
maids maybe at the brothel.
Depends what they're dressed like, but maybe they were dressed as maids.
And their names were Cherry Ryder and Madison Montague. I think I went to their bat mitzvahs. I'm not sure. I think I actually went to their bat mitzvahs, maybe. Anyway, so Cherry, Madison, and Lamar were hanging out, partying, doing some coke, doing a lot of coke, doing more coke, doing some coke. And Lamar actually did so much coke that he suffered kidney failure, had several heart attacks, and 12 strokes. And he had to be placed on life support in Vegas. So the guy goes to Vegas, he does his thing at the Love Ranch, does so much blow that he literally he was really close to dying and was put on life support and had to spend his time in Vegas recuperating. I mean, it was just, now, one thing that happened was interesting because Khloe Kardashian was going to divorce him, but they were separated. And she actually then came out and said, I'm not divorcing him so that she could help him sort of resuscitate him to normal life stuff, etc. I mean,
That's how you save your marriage in LA.
it's such a good idea. Get yourself so loaded that you almost die. But they actually did not get divorced, but then they got divorced later because, not surprisingly, it was not a stable relationship, which is surprising that Lamar Odom and Khloe Kardashian would not have a stable relationship. Lamar Odom ruined any part of his reputation, etc. by this.
And his career just ended, and he could get endorsements. I remember that because he basically destroyed his retirement because
He did.
and maybe just marrying a Kardashian just leads to bad things.
You know, there's actually something out there called the Kardashian curse. Have you heard of this? That all the Kardashians ever been married become terrible players.
Yes.
You know, I once ate at dinner at a restaurant in New Orleans, and Kim Kardashian was there, and I immediately lost my job. So maybe that is true. There's some truth to that. But the bottom line is that this was a horrible situation. This is just a city, as you say, that has not done well with its athletes.
I think it's more like it brings out the best or the worst. You know, you're talking about athletes who come to a place where every bad decision comes with a driver and a VIP lounge. And I mean,
yeah. Well, what's interesting about both of those situations, well, especially the Pac-Man this is before phones. Right. I mean, that's what's incredible.
I remember Lamar. That was such a big story. The one thing you didn't mention is it's not like he went there one night and partied. He had been there for a week. He had been at a brothel for a week. A week. It's like,
right. And we had to come 2 days to see Copperfield. We're actually going to the Sphere.
We're going tonight. We're going to see the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
VIP tickets, I guess they're huge fans of the podcast. I've never even heard of them, to be honest with you. Now, because we're in Vegas, now neither Ross or I are huge gamblers. We gamble more with our health when we go to dinner than we do with money. It's true. Dessert is tasty. What can you say?
Fried chicken.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man.
3 words.
Anything breaded and fried, let's be honest.
Yeah.
You get bread and fried wood chips, and they're good with ranch dressing. So we're not huge gamblers. But I will say that sports betting is the best type of gambling you can do in Vegas. You sit down for blackjack, for instance. You get a soft 16, you make a bad bet, you're out of money, you lose your shirt before they come back with your drink. I mean, that's not entertainment. That's basically getting fleeced in surround sound. It's not fun. Sports betting, though, I mean, at the sports book, you make a bet, you sit in a big leather chair, you feel like a hedge fund manager. You know, you got 12 screens, you got some 50-year-old busty waitress named Marla bringing you drinks every time you cough. I mean, it's a great time and it's entertaining. Even when you lose, at least you're being entertained, you know? But that being said, calm down, take a breath. That being said, there are some incredibly stupid sports bets. I mean, it's a way that Vegas has figured out to make more money. And it's the proposition bets. It's the proposition bets where you can bet literally on anything. So we tasked each other with coming up with what we think are the absolute stupidest sports bets that you can make in Vegas, right?
Absolutely.
You want to go first? You want to give yours?
Sure. I'll go first. So by far, in my opinion, the dumbest bet that you can make, just dumb, not saying it's not fun, but it's the dumbest bet that you can make, is what color Gatorade is actually going to be dumped on the coach during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
It's a big
you're
one.
basically trying to figure out which color dye is the one that's going to be put into the sugar water. Okay? And that's what you're spending your whole time doing. And I should have also mentioned that in doing some research, this is actually the most popular Super Bowl bet that is made during the Super Bowl. It's unbelievable to me. I mean, imagine you're sitting there, you're in your giant chair, and you're looking and you're saying with complete honesty and seriousness, I'm telling you, I have a good source that says it's going to be polar blue. I've done the research and the source said it. I've watched game film. This is what this team usually has traditionally done. You fucking moron. You have no idea. There's no strategy to this bumblefuck. Nevertheless, this is what folks do, and it is taken with as though it is the biggest deal in the world. Again, fun, stupid as shit. And then what ends up happening is the game ends, and if you pick the wrong color, it like ruins the entire event. In my opinion, the Gatorade color is the biggest sucker bet in sports in the sports book.
I will tell you that I've watched games and people are like trying to check out the cooler on the sideline. So I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like there's a touchdown. Who cares? They're going to the sideline. See if you can see what's in the cup. It is dumb.
But it's as is always the case whenever there's money involved, it's the seriousness.
Oh, and that actually ties to mine. Mine
Oh.
is the coin toss. I think the coin toss is the dumbest bet.
Also,
It's a 50-50 bet. And
brilliant.
yeah, I mean, it's the flip of a coin. People like will bet thousands of dollars on the coin toss, and they theorize like it's a smart bet. Like they're betting us like I've looked at the last 7 times it's been the heads, and so 7 of 10 is heads. So statistically, no, you'd have to do thousands to be statistically correct. You're an idiot. It's a 50-50 bet, and yet people do it, and then when they win, they're like, I have a strategy. I have a strategy. I know what I'm doing. No, it's another way that Vegas says, how can we get people to bet on shit? And the worst part about the coin toss is it's the very first thing. So if you lose the coin toss, you're spending the rest of the game trying to catch up. Making dumb bets. How long is the anthem going to be? And is someone going to cry during the anthem? Who gets the first penalty? And you're doing all these dumb bets. You're chasing bad bets because you missed the coin toss. Stupid bet. Those are dumb bets.
Some bets, again, I get it, but those are stupid bets, and it just shows you how Vegas completely understands the innate nature of human beings and how fucking stupid they really are.
You going to bet on Gatorade next?
Absolutely. What do you think's the coin?
Probably it's going to be the coin toss. I love the coin toss because if you lose, you have an entire game to make the money back.
I heard 7 out of 10 times ago.
Yeah, that's why I'm going 10. I'm going lime green, by the way. That's the other thing about Gatorade is I've heard people, that's not green, that's lime green, that's yellow. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure being with you in Vegas here. We got to go. We're going to the Sphere tonight. It's wonderful. I think it's cool. We'll show you out the window.
People make this big deal out of the Sphere. It's just this big round thing in the middle of
It is.
It looks like a giant testicle.
It looks like a giant, glowing, multicolored testicle, which is, unless you're from Chernobyl, is a very unique and interesting thing. So we'll see. Great being with you, buddy.
All right.
It's great having a good time. And from us and David Copperfield, we say good night. We'll see you next week when we're both back in our homes. And thank you for being a loyal viewer, the one person watching. You're a good guy. We appreciate it.
Love you, buddy.
Take care.